Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic here. Today's video is about me going to Krown Rust Protection in Stanley, New York to have my truck rust proofed. I did this because my truck is rusting pretty decent. It has a good amount of rust, and what I wanted to see was whether the rust proofing that they are using will actually slow down the process of the rust on my truck. It's going to be really hard to gauge, but I know where it's at now, and part of the reason I did this and recorded them doing it was with it up on their lift, we could actually see quite well where the rust is. One of the things I'll easily be able to gauge it on, I think, is the rocker panels. They're started through, they're not all the way through, so I'd like to see if this would slow it down. Some people's going to say this is an advertisement. I say it's not, just because I want to see if it's going to slow this down. I wouldn't be able to really technically promote the product until I actually know that it's going to work on my truck and at least slow it down. So this is all about preservation, is what I'm trying to do here. So you'll see the process and what I do and what goes on, and the underneath of my truck and what it looks like. So let's move on. So having to be like Eric O, here I am today, Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic. Actually at the Krown Rust Proof Protection. I came up here because I'm actually I camp up here close in the area, so I thought I might as well come up here while I'm up here camping and actually see what this is all about. So here's the inside, and nice little waiting room. Got the Keurig coffee machine, got a restroom close. I'm good. Okay folks, and this is Gary. We were talking a little bit earlier about my truck and the amount of rust that it has on it, because I think it's pretty rusty, but he's going to let me know what he thinks. But he showed me an example here with something that he has on the counter, which I think is pretty cool, so I'm going to have him run by that with what he told me. So if you want, Gary, just what you told me about how it actually works.
Alright, so the product, our oil, it's a creeping oil, so once it's applied to your frame, it's constantly working, basically seeking moisture, destroying that, and also it penetrates through existing rust. So this right here is a sample. I can't remember if it's a Ford or Chevy. I've got about...
Has to be a Ford, but go ahead.
35 different samples here. Some of these is the rubberized undercoating samples. So what our product does is creeps behind any of these coatings, and usually what's behind these coatings is rust, built up quite a bit. This is Bondo, and then we've got some rubberized coatings down here, and like I said, everything behind there is rust. Now,
and you said it actually knocks those flakes, like it'll actually knock those off the frame when your oil goes up behind it. So it's not doing you any good anyhow, like that. So
exactly. So over the course of a couple months, where this stuff is, it's going to creep behind it, knock it off of there. That could be as easy as just some road rain, a car wash. You may have to power wash it off, but usually it just comes off naturally. Where this stuff isn't, where it's already fallen off, you have exposed metal. And what our product does to that is it's going to turn it bright orange. So once it turns bright orange, you know it's working. The oil is dissipated, the inhibitors are still there, it's still working, but it's done its job. We recommend, obviously, with the excessively rusty vehicles, that they get done twice a year to kind of catch up.
And that's what we're sort of going to talk about once you look at mine and do it. We'll discuss what we think is the best plan ahead.
Putting yours on the lift right now, so if you want to check that out.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go out and look at it. They took my truck on me. I hope they don't eat my hoagie I have in there. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So there goes the Chevy up on the lift. I hope they didn't eat my hoagie. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I had a hoagie in there on the seat. I don't want you guys to share that for lunch. You guys mind if I go underneath? I just want to sort of show what it looks like before you start. Gary said he'd come out, and so some of you guys have already seen what the truck looks like underneath because I've done some work with it and I've showed it, but it's not as bad as I thought. It doesn't look like it has that flake like he talked about. I mean, what do you guys, what's your opinion? I'm sure you've seen worse.
Oh, absolutely. Later on, after we spray this, after a couple sprays, this will start all lifting off.
Lifting off, that's what he said, but I'm sort of surprised because I thought I'd actually see more of that on the frame.
This is the area that'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
So we'll get into those access points up through there, and we'll drill from the top side as well.
Very good. So you get all the lines and everything too, because I replaced the fuel lines and the brake lines, so that's going to help preserve those. So hopefully they last longer than they did the first time from factory.
Get all your cross pieces, your axle, up above your spare tire, back of your bumper. We'll even get the side of your transmission where you have a lot of these connections and sensors.
Okay.
Along here, it's going to help lubricate. It's going to help with any electrical connections.
Very good. Because I already had my transmission spin-on filter rust through, so that's the kind of rust we have.
Wow.
Now see, like this, that's what I'm afraid of, is that oil pan is going to go one of these days.
Oh yeah.
it's probably not long for the world, but if it even slows it down, I think it's well worth it. All right, I'll let you gentlemen do your work. I don't want to hold you up.
Okay.
So we're spraying underneath it, and some of the worst places, like the rockers and stuff, I'm not sure if we showed that. We're going to try and spray up in there to get it in there to stop it from working through anymore. But this is the process. And I know a lot of you watch Eric O's also, so you're familiar with the process, but I'm going to film some of it. My main thing was I wanted to show actually how it looked underneath of the vehicle and how rusty it was. So they're done with the underneath, and you can see the oil dripping off of it. I never burned the biofuel in here that people made out of the grease, but I was told that smells like French fries. I don't know. This doesn't smell quite like French fries, but it doesn't smell bad. I mean, it's for what it is. So now, after this, next you're going to...
We're going to drop it down, and then we'll do the top side. We'll do the engine compartment, get in all the doors, rocker panels.
And you will drill some holes and put the plugs in that you'll go in there and stuff. Because some people were screaming when Eric did that on his video, but...
Nope. We'll access all those areas, get in the cavities.
Okay. I remember when they did the Z-Bart and Rusty Jones and all that stuff, people say all they did was drilled the hole, put a little paint around it, and put the plug in, and said that they sprayed it to save some money. But so I'm gonna watch you guys put some oil in it. But so that's what it looks like underneath. So we'll let them keep going. We don't want to hold them up. I love the sound of my Duramax whenever I hear it. Now they're going to take those out and they're going to spray in there. And oh no, my brand new old truck, you're drilling into the door. You know, if that was the worst thing that ever happened to this truck, that'd be a good thing. It's been through worse than that. can tell you that there's actually no chemical smell to that stuff at all. Again, tell me.
This is our salt eliminator.
Okay.
A lot of times when we pull the tail lights out, there's a lot of salt and residue and buildup in here. So we'll clean this out, use this product, let it sit for a little bit, and then we'll just wash it out.
Oh, okay, you'll wash it out and that'll get most of that out of there. Excellent. Just did around the gas cap and getting around the rear wheel well there. It certainly looks like they're getting all the spots, which is good. Just washing off the salt inhibitor.
He doesn't need it.
Go ahead, give him a bath. I can get that on here.
He doesn't need an earful of low water.
Okay, he's just gonna plug up the holes in the door, and nice thing about that, of course, is when you get it done again, it's already done. Well, now that's pretty cool.
Really handy.
Well, that certainly gets it all the way in there without a doubt. Okay, what's the space pack for now?
It's a degreaser to get everything off the body of it.
Ah, okay, cool.
The space pack makes it a lot easier to carry around.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had one of those years ago for gardening. They're great. They're great to have. They work great. Well, if nothing else, my truck's getting a wash. That's a plus. Okay, I can't really show you if it's dripping or not because, of course, we have rain here, so that conceals that fact. But you think you can see how wet it is? But they are all done. Okay, well, I guess you guys are all done now. It's all finished. Alrighty, thank you very much. It looks very good. And okay, my question is, now that you guys looked at it, you did it, what would you recommend? Another time, 6 months, with the amount of rust, or?
I would say at least come in springtime, get it salt washed, and then just
Oh, see, that'll work good. When I open the camper up, it'll be the spring, so I'll just head right up here, and you know, so that's why I said it works for me. You guys up here, it's not much of a drive from where we camp, so that works very good.
Yeah, we'll do a salt wash and then just another application on the underneath just to keep it a little more protected.
Okay, that's what I want to do. So, and I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about the Ford, the story that you just told me about your Ford and how you actually started and what you've seen here, because I want to see if it's going to save some of my body, and that's what I had asked you, and that was interesting.
Yeah, well, it's awful hard to tell on a vehicle that's already started to rust whether it's really doing any good. But I know from my past experience that I had an 01 Ford that had the rocker panel severely rusted out, and I had taken the time to weld in new metal and bondo it up, and it was prior to me starting this business, and I sprayed it and did the wire wheel on the bottom of the doors, quick rattle canned it, and about 2 weeks later it started to peel. And then once I got into this business, I started consistently spraying it, and then we sell the spray cans, and every couple months I would just reapply along the bottom of the doors. And that
And
lasts.
that's externally
Yep.
and internally,
Yep.
or okay.
Exactly. Yep. And that lasted at least 7 years, even before, and it never even moved at all. So that was my indicator that I know the stuff works phenomenally. You have to do it a little more, especially once the vehicle started to rust. But it's so easy to do compared to paying thousands of dollars on getting your.
Oh, to get the body work done and stuff. Alrighty, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, there you have it. That's my truck being rust proofed, and what they did and how they did it, and it shows you the process. So I'm not 100% sure if it's going to help. If you're interested in the product or want to see about it, just go to www.krown.com and you can find your local Krown place. I'm sure I'm not sure where they all are. I just went to this one in Stanley, New York, because I go up that way anyhow, so it was very easy for me to go up on a Friday and get it done. So with saying that, this is Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic saying, if you can get somebody else to do it, like doing your rust proofing for you, you're probably better off. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.